Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm a singer-songwriter from Miami, Florida, and I like to write about my feelings, and I'd like for you to listen to me do that and sing, because that's what the I do. I'm not a content creator, bitch. I'm sorry.
By the way, there's a link to Prelude.
I'm funny, though, so you can also hire me to do things.
Hello, beautiful human. Thanks for clicking or tapping on our conversation with Lauren Jauregui. We have a lot to discuss. Prelude is her latest body of work. Listen to it. There's a link in the description below. There's so much to talk about, like the most. It's a lot of fun. Try to soak in the whole conversation if you can. I promise you'll enjoy it. It's Lauren Jauregui here.
Hey.
And Dan's here too.
Oh, yes.
Obviously.
Hello.
Hello, Dan.
Hello.
It's been a while since we've hung out.
It has.
In a serious manner. We have new music to discuss. We have a whole... truly, like, a lot of life happens between this visit, even your last visit, and then the visit before that.
Yeah, truly evolutions. You got 3.
Really?
It's the 3rd one, right?
Has to be.
I think so.
Yeah, because with Fifth Harmony, you were here a bunch. And then, obviously, to release your first solo project, which was the one done under, like, Records, Columbia Records, you were here. Expectations was the song.
The song.
And obviously, we are somewhere new. We are at...
In a whole new world. And you have a globe, right? Oh, so on brand. Yeah. Love it.
That was beautiful.
Prelude.
That was.
Oh, thanks. Prelude, yeah.
There must be a bunch of different ways that this is different than what's come before. But for you as a creative, why is it different than your Expectations era?
Well, this is a project instead of a song. So that would be the first probably major difference. I think that, honestly, I feel like my Expectations era is still part of me too. I feel like when I was with Columbia, I still dropped songs that I loved. It was just 4 of them.
And this is one body work. It is 7 songs. Why is the intro necessary to the overall story you're telling?
I don't know. I just kind of wanted to do an intro. I think that I've always wanted to have an intro to the piece. I'm very dramatic. I'm a double water sign, so I have I love theatrics. I love, like, expressing. So I think sonically the intro is kind of like, I wanted to get people into the energy of what they were going to be hearing. And I feel like I did that. So I used sound bowls of the, like, crown chakra and the root chakra. Those are, like, the bowls that you hear in the beginning. And then the strings kind of tell the story too. It's like a thesis. Like, intro into colors is the thesis of the piece, essentially. Because it's like the strings take you into, like, oh, it's like a beautiful, pretty little situation, and then it's like there's some darkness to it, and then it gets kind of eerie and scary, and then it just kind of, like, falls into colors. So
more live instruments on this body of work than the 4 songs you put out previous.
yes.
I hear saxophones in there, obviously strings. Trumpet. Is there no sax on any of the records? It's all trumpet.
It's trumpet.
So that's a trumpet I hear on Scattered and on Don't Want to Say.
Yes, sir.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, great records.
Thank you.
What do you mean by prelude?
Well, the definition is exactly what I mean. I forgot it right now, this very instant, the exact definition, but it's like the introduction into a sonic landscape.
So, the first project of many.
Oh yeah. I'm here to make art.
This says an action or event serving as an introduction to something more important.
Period.
Okay, cool. So, do you set goals before you start this body of work, knowing that it's going to be something that kind of lays out a tone for what you're looking to achieve moving forward?
Yes.
What are the goals?
Well, what are the goals? It's kind of a broad question.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it depends on what you're asking. Like, sonically, what are my goals?
What do you want to accomplish with it? Like, when it's time to create technically your first body of work that is your own, first solo body of work.
Yeah.
And you know that when do you know you're going to name it Prelude? Only after it's done?
I played with a few different names. It was after it was done, actually. I had a couple other names for it initially that I was playing with, but Prelude evidently was the one because exactly what you just said. I think it was just perfect. Because to me, this is like a part 1 of a full album.
Got it.
This is like the EP. It's like the roll. I didn't want to call it like an EP. Evidently, I've had to call it an EP because bitches got confused. But I was trying to roll with calling it like a project. just a project. It's like the introduction. It's the part 1 of the full album that's coming later next year.
So you know that it sets a sonic tone for what you're looking to achieve, but you only know that after it's done.
I kind of know it while it's happening too. Because there's more than the songs that I gave. I knew I wanted to give it in pieces because I don't think that people would have gotten it if I gave it to them all at once, because I think that it's so different from what people expected from me.
What do you think people expected?
That's a good question, actually. I don't know. I feel like most of the time that I've been in this industry, I've been confronted, or after the fact, I've been confronted by the pigeonhole of the assumption that I was in a manufactured pop girl band. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what people expect I'm going to keep doing, is like singing other people's songs and being in a pop element, And to an extent I am, in a pop element. I still have a lot of elements of the pop world in what I do. But there's more, I don't know, there's a more soul element to what I do as well, I think. Like in terms of like personally involved in what I'm doing, my soul.
Yeah, it's 100% your own.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
really the difference.
Yeah, and there's no other shades of people making up, a song that you put out. It's all 100% yours.
Yeah.
And it's organic to you. Like, how do you define like a pop star?
That's a good question. There's an element of machina. An element of machine to it.
Okay.
In different aspects, depending on what artist you're talking about, I think. Because some are really hyper involved in what they do, and some aren't. So I think it's just like, but there's more of a like machine quality to it, in the way that things move.
In the way that it operates behind the scenes, in the way that the art comes to the people.
Both. I think as an entity.
How do you define an artist?
I think I know exactly what you're referring to. And I think that I would say that an artist, I think there's a lot of pop stars who are also artists, I think it's when you're connected to what you're giving. It's not just you're selling something, it's your soul. There's an authenticity to it.
I get that.
Period.
But we do recognize that pop stars and artists, they do overlap.
Absolutely. 100%. That's what I feel like there's an uncovering a lot of the time. I think a lot of pop stars have artists within them, but they're told they have to be things. The machine element comes into it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I mean. That's the difference in my brain.
There is an artistry to being a pop star, though.
100%.
Even the ones
It's all art.
It is art.
How frustrating was it being a pop star, not being able to be the artist you wanted to be at all times?
Yeah, that was, because you're right about the overlap, 100%. I think I'm going to first acknowledge that. So then it's like, I think the issue that I had to separate myself from the idealized pop star, which is fully machine and has no soul in it, which exists as well in certain realms, That was something that I was trying to separate myself from, you know what I'm saying? In my heart, because that was something that I always felt inside of me was like, I have a lot more to offer than what I'm giving right now in this particular scenario. And I think I have a lot more to offer than people expect from me. And I think that in my brain, people considering me a pop star means that they believe I'm all machine and they don't see the soul behind it. And so what I feel when I say something like that, and that I want to be seen and perceived as an artist, is that my soul's involved in what I'm doing, even if there is a machine, if and whenever there is a machine behind it. But right now there isn't. So.
But by the way, I think like as you describe pop star, like there's so many things that stand out. But one of the big things that stand out to me is how the business is actually run on the back end. Because dependent on how much say you have in your artistry, again, whether it's manufactured art that's given to you by a label or forced down your throat, or your own stuff that you're able on your free will and ability to create on your own, people can have the ability to create something, but it be ignored for long periods of time because that's not what they...
Because it doesn't have the machine.
Yeah, it's not what they signed up for, essentially.
Right.
I feel like, the way you just, like...
Yeah, because being a pop star also takes a lot of work.
Tremendous amount of work.
Like a lot of work. A tremendous amount of work.
Whether you have a machine behind you or not, or whether you have a machine dictating what you do or not. But I do think that like a lot of people are forced to be a cog in the machine because nobody will listen to them and nobody takes their opinions seriously.
I think really what it is that they're told that. I don't think that it's true. I think that in a lot of ways, from what I've observed, money is what makes things move. And if you have projects that are divested from, they're not going to move. And if you don't believe that someone expressing their authentic art is going to connect or make you money, then you're not going to invest in it. That's a simple business move.
Well, so I understand what you're saying from like on a record label side, like you should want to
industrial side.
Yeah, you want to invest in organic things that have organic
you would
roots.
expect them to invest in organic things,
But
right?
they don't.
But I mean, they do when they want to, and when they see it. But if they don't see it, they won't.
Yeah.
So it's a toss up because they'll tell you that you're amazing, and you think you're amazing, but really what they think is amazing is what they can make you, not who you are.
So why did you decide being independent was the best decision for you right now?
For that exact reason.
For that exact reason. I expect you walked into meetings and people are like, this is who you are.
Yeah.
And
This is the kind of music that you should be making. This song isn't a hit. This song won't work. This song isn't worth the money. And so, okay, I think it is. So I'm going to do my own shit. You don't have to invest in me. I'll invest in me. I'll take my own money and put my money behind it because I believe in me.
Baller.
Yeah.
It's a new level of commitment.
Yeah, it is. An investment in self and belief in self, too. Because it is a gamble, man. It's a risk, honestly, at the end of the day. But I know what I'm supposed to give this world in my heart. So
Your art.
I'm betting on it. Hopefully it works out, man. Because if not, shit. Call me up. I could be a cute too. Like you can put me in your movies or something. No, but I think I'm a good singer. I'm a good writer too.
No, your music's actually incredible, and I think you're actually growing it at the right pace.
Thank you.
I like the fact that you've been doing tinier venues to really build anticipation. You did 2 nights at the Roxy. I
did a night at the Roxy and a night at Telegram.
Okay, got it. Wow, that's phenomenal venue choices.
Thank you.
You know, you're creating a swell. You're creating something organic, and do you feel like you're starting again?
Yeah, I do. And it's so beautiful in a lot of ways.
Are you starting again since Expectations in those 4 songs?
Yeah, even. I honestly feel like I've started again many times. I feel like I've evolved into so many different people already in this lifetime, and I think I'm going to keep doing that as an artist. I think that, I've just, it's wild. I'm starting again because I feel like the pandemic was like a reset on a lot for me. Like 2020 in general, that year was a reset on a lot for me. And it made me come to, it made me confront what success meant to me and how success would look moving forward for me. Because a lot of things were just kind of like swiped out from under me. And then a lot of things I was just confronted with a new moment in my life, an independent moment in my life, which is different from how I've been functioning for the 9 years that I've been in this industry, you know? And I've learned a lot. And this round, getting to go out in these shows, like you said, they were intimate venues called An Evening with Lauren Jauregui. There were no openers or anything. It was just me and my fans. And I really wanted to connect with them, and I really wanted to thank them intimately for seeing what we see now, or what people will start to see soon, always in me, you know? Totally.
It's a shared vision.
So it's a new beginning, but a reaffirmation, and like also propels me into a whole new version of self now.
But I think, you know, one of the things that stood out to me in what you said is that you've redefined what success looks like and feels like. So I'm assuming it's taken a much different shape, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like success is being at the Roxy, which is probably the smallest venue you've played in a very long time, you know, playing music for anybody who will listen, correct?
Yeah. Success is putting out that I believe in, that I can stand behind, and that I know I've put my heart and soul into. And if there's an audience showing up, I'm doing something right? So
what was success for you while you were with Fifth Harmony?
I think that a lot of people's definition of success, including my own at the time, had a lot more to do with attaining more and more and more and more and more. And it's insatiable. You never really get anywhere. You're never really a legend until you die, bro. Like, at the end of the day, like, no one is going to give you your flowers until you die. That's what I've learned. I've seen it happen over and over and over and over again with all these kids dying of these overdoses. And, oh my God, I loved you. It's like, really? Because you never supported them when they were alive. Ever, actually. And all of a sudden, everybody loves this person. And it's like, and granted, people can mean something to you in private. That's also very real. But those things will come when I focus on what I'm supposed to give the world, on my own gift being expressed. Those things will come, or they won't, and I'll move on to another era of my life. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's it's not about gaining more. It's about connection for me. I really want my music. My music is healing for me. Expressing myself and getting to say what I'm feeling and write it out and get a concept out of my head and onto paper and into melodic form and playing with music and sounds. Like, that's what makes me happy. That's what makes me, that's what helps me process life. And so if through that process, I'm able to connect with other individuals who feel less alone or who like see themselves in that music or see themselves in those words. And they were singing them back to me, bro, word for word. And that's what it's about for me. That's success. That's it. That connection, that ability to have somebody come up to me and be like, yo, I love myself because of you. Like, I learned how to love myself. I now move with more purpose. I now know what I want to do. I now believe in me. Like, that's all I give a fuck about. As many people as I can make feel like that, that's success to me.
Truly, like the impact that you can have on one person, the impact that you have on that one person is almost immeasurable because it goes on to change how they live their life.
Yeah.
It is very special. And when you talk about like wanting these flowers and you're not going to get flowers until you die, during your time at Fifth Harmony, was there a want to just be legendary before y'all were legendary? Like what
In Fifth?
Yeah, like how do I take what you said about wanting these flowers, these accolades?
Every single artist gets into this initially thinking that the accolades are the definition.
Yeah. Of
I made it. You know?
Totally.
I think Fifth got a lot of accolades. I think we moved really, really successfully in the world. I think for flowers, I mean like people recognizing your talent. I don't think that they, you know, it happens, but it doesn't happen as profoundly as it does once you're gone. Does that make sense?
100%, yeah. And by the way, throughout history, you know, the most famous painters of our time, you know, were creating art while they were here, and nobody gave a shit until they were dead.
Van Gogh.
Yeah, it's very,
the
very...
mother cut off his ear.
History repeats itself.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that, though.
No.
I'm going to keep my ear. I like them.
People like ears. Going back to artistry, like, do you feel like people saw you as an artist while you were in Fifth Harmony? I don't even mean the public, but I mean your peers, your colleagues, those around you, whether it be the fellow girls or management, other singers?
Maybe. I'm sure.
But you feel like the public saw you as a pop star?
Yeah, I think so. Well, of course, because I had never given the public my own material, you know? I hadn't ever shared anything that I had written or produced or sang, you know? I was singing other people's songs. And that wasn't how music was in my brain. I didn't know that that's how the music industry was until I literally got into that group. Call me ignorant, call me young, whatever. I didn't have connections at all. I really thought everybody that sang a song, they wrote that song. I swear to God. Like, I'm so sorry to everybody that I failed in that regard for not knowing better, but that's literally what I thought. I thought they at least had a part in it, you know?
You live, you learn. And now you're your own boss.
And now I do that.
Yeah. and by the way, you do it really well. Scattered. How do songs start for you? In particular, how does this one start?
Scattered was production first. So I went in with Oak, and I just wanted to do something like kind of left field from what we were creating. I just wanted it to be weird. I want the changes to be weird. I want people to be like, huh? What's that? What just happened? And so we like started playing with all these like eerie sounds and just kind of moving through that. And then the like sound in the chorus is kind of like a ticking clock energetically, and just like totally switches the chords up and makes you really prick your ear up. And then I was really, really, really listening heavy to the to the Black Panther album soundtrack at the time, and I was like, I really want drums that root me in that kind of energy, and so that was where that went. And then
When
as
did
a